Okay, welcome to Hashtag Leadership, What is on your mind? This is an episode where we're going to be talking to Winnie. Hi Winnie, how are you doing?
Hi, Stuart.
Good,
I'm
so
good.
you should know the format by now. We've got 20 minutes to interview business owners about their leadership journey. And by listening to their leadership journey and adding value to yours, so we're going to be getting industry experts, specialists in their fields. I'm going to have some of my clients on, and Winnie fits into that category. So in the current climate, I was really interested to get her on because she's managing and leading an online team, and she'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. But in the current climate moving forward, there's a lot of business owners out there who are going to be creating a new norm and having to lead and drive teams themselves and their businesses forward. So I'm going to set the clock, Winnie. Are you ready to go?
Take it away.
Fantastic. 20 minutes. There'll be an alarm at the end, and that'll have to be us. I know we've talked before for a long time, so 20 minutes is going to be a challenge. So, Winnie, for those who don't know you, tell us a bit about yourself and where you are in the world, where you have been, and what your business looks like. Off you go.
Okay, thanks, Stuart, for the introduction. A quick introduction of myself. So, yes, my name is Winnie. Currently, right now, I'm in Singapore. So just a little bit about myself. I used to live in the U.S., mostly in California. So, been around the U.S. quite a little bit. Was working in a corporate world. Then I moved back to Singapore. I'm actually Singaporean. About 10 years ago. So, anyways, I became a business owner probably about 6-7 years ago by accident. And actually, I'm very blessed because my business has grown over the years. And even now with this kind of current climate, the COVID climate, my business has been pretty stable and even growing. The challenge for me is that my business, my team is more than 2,000 people. And they're actually all over, not all over the world, but all over the region. So majority of them are in Singapore, a huge percentage in Philippines and Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand. Let's see where else. Oh my God, yes. Some in Taiwan, some in Korea, some in Japan, but mostly in Southeast Asia. So regionally, and then quite a few in Indonesia as well. So I don't see them face to face, even though my team members in my business in Singapore, such a small country, I don't even see them. So a lot of times we definitely do a lot of communication or stuff like that, all via WhatsApp, Facebook, Zoom, everything is done online. So actually my background, I was a biopharmaceutical researcher and lecturer, was really different from what I'm doing before. But I always love entrepreneurship because I grew up in an entrepreneurial family, and it's something that I always wanted to do because it's the lifestyle that I want, that being my own boss, I carve my own time, I am the master of my own destiny, and I lead on my own terms. Yeah, but definitely has grown me a lot as a person as well, being a leader and being a business owner. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So, as I said, that you've been on my 90-day leadership course, and you're now, it's a privilege to have you in the group of business owners that have been through that and are really supercharging your leadership. And we start with awareness, don't we, and drive it forward. So tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you've had leading a team online. What are some of the things that other people out there might be feeling as well?
I think a lot of times is communication, like awareness of like, okay, even though you don't see them face to face, but how you communicate via chat or even on a Zoom, the energy that you create, the vibes is actually really important because people can pick it up. And sometimes even over chat, it can be challenging because a lot of times, as you know, in chat messages, the meaning or the intention get misconstrued. And that's where misunderstanding can happen. It's happened quite a lot of times with me. And then the next thing is that, I always feel that it's a lot easier, like, okay, rather than writing an email or doing a chat, in the past, I was just like, I'll just go over to your cubicle. Oh, let's meet for lunch, or let's have coffee and we talk about stuff, or let's sit down and talk about stuff. But because being an online team and doing everything online, that can be a challenge at times. Another big one, as mainly a business owner, especially where I don't have a boss to tell me what to do, like what the SOP is and what the protocol is. Like a lot of times I do have to really get grounded and work on myself, because I realize that I'm a reflection of how my team progresses or doesn't progress. And it's really up to me where I have to grow up as a person to be an influence. Now, sometimes it's crossover because I cannot tell people what to do, especially in my business because I'm not their boss. And it's like sometimes to the point that I cannot tell them what to do. I cannot fix them. I cannot manipulate their thoughts because they're individual people and they're grown-up adults. But at the same time, if I want things to change and progress and have the results that I want, or people in harmony, or to live their life in abundance, to live their life in happiness and joy, I do have to work on myself and work on my influence over time. And that's the part that is tough for me because this does not happen overnight. It's not about doing, like I keep doing and talking. A lot of times it's internal, very internal stuff, like emotional, mental, even down to spiritual, how you are on the inside, because you're radiating out. It's a ripple effect.
Yeah, let me just pick up on that as well, because that's one of the things that's been really impactful in what I've been doing with clients. And I know it was for you as well. So my big passion is that we start with ourselves in leadership. And then obviously that has a impact on the people around us, our teams, and then it drives our business forward. So I know that was one of the things that was, let's call it, I like calling it about light bulb moments. So tell us a little bit more about what that felt like, because I know it was quite a big thing for you, wasn't it? And you've really just to kind of, you smashed it, haven't you? Like that happened quite early on in our kind of working together. So what was that like, and what have you seen the impact of having that awareness now in your business?
The big aha moment or the light bulb moment is like, I know that it's up to me to change, but sometimes, it's so easy to be on the back seat and like, oh, yeah, the virus happened. I have no choice. Oh, feel sorry for me. I'm a victim of all of this. I have no choice. It's like when I start to see that, you do have a choice. And you make that choice, even though it's scary, because it's much easier just to be pointing your finger and saying that things don't work and I'm a victim of everything. But when you actually make the switch and realize that you are actually in the driver's seat, you're actually driving your own vehicle, whatever vehicle it is, it's very empowering. It's very empowering that, I have a choice to make changes in my life and to make choices to drop things that doesn't serve me, right? And I feel that leading a team, this effect's even more magnified because as when you are working as a leader and you are influencing your team, rather than telling them, oh, you need to do this, you stop reading the news and stop having a scarcity mindset. It's up to me to be honoring that and practicing that. And so back to the example of being in the driver's seat. So, like in the past, I will succumb to the whole paradigm of fear and scarcity like everybody else because I didn't know better. I just thought that this is what everybody's doing. And even my parents tell you that this is how it should be and this is life. But I realized that I was so stuck and trapped. But when I started working on my own personal development, I'm like, I realized that successful people don't think that way. They don't think that way. They don't talk that way. They don't believe in that way. And I think the big aha moment is like, oh my God, our mind is so strong, right? Our belief is so strong. Our beliefs will create the thoughts that we have. The thoughts will create the reality. It's all linked. And then I think even when I was younger, I didn't realize that. So when I saw that and I'm like, now I'm going to pivot. I'm definitely going to pivot. And I'm going to choose very carefully, very wisely, the thoughts that I feed in my mind and the energy that I feed in my mind, and things like that, because you are the creator of your own destiny now. It's scary because it's a lot easier to be on the back seat, but at the same time, this is where things really happen for you.
Yeah, you're right as well, because we spoke about, haven't we, about the difference between having like a leadership journey understanding over a kind of like I need to just do something and a reactive and going into that tell. I remember the conversation we had about the understanding that every single person has got their own individual leadership journey.
Yeah.
And sometimes through no fault of our own, we subconsciously are trying to project on others how we've got to where we've got to, and we're kind of making robots.
Yeah.
So on that, so tell me a little bit about some of the impacts you've seen and the impacts you've had on your team, and those kind of warm fuzzy feelings of you being like, oh right, okay, this is working. Like I've changed. Because you're right, it's quite daunting for some people who are business owners or who have been in the game for quite a while to think that there is an option to change and adapt and add awareness, add skills to their toolbox.
I think that's a big one. Stuart, you just talked about the projecting myself, and I think I definitely do that a lot. And I don't know, is it because it's like a motherly thing? Like, I don't want you to have to go through the pain I went through and learn it the hard way. But I think I realized that, you know what? I've never always been like a rules-abiding person. I always wanted to like test my boundaries. And I realized that if I'm like that, how can I expect other people just to follow exactly everything that I say and tell them to do? Because it's like, until I really learn the hard way, or like when I'm thrown in the deep pool and I have to learn how to swim in order not to sink, that's when I really learn and like, oh, whoa, And I think that was a big one for me, because I get frustrated when I realize that my team members don't listen to me. Yes, they don't listen to me, or like I tell them and they do something else. So I think from the leadership journey, I think what it is that I learned to have empathy. I learned to have understanding that, not everybody is like Winnie. They grew up very different from me, or maybe their perspective are very different. No two people have the same DNA. So no two people have the same DNA for thoughts. So I think where I've learned and I've grown is that, okay, calm down, calm down. Just hang on, just take a step back, ground myself with the tools that I use and understand. And sometimes when I take a step back and I pause, somehow the empathy just comes up, like, okay, I can understand why this person is doing something that triggered me so badly, And I also learn about myself why I was triggered by the event. It's not about the person, it's about the event, and I got to learn about myself too. And I think when I practice that, I'm definitely a lot more calm. I'm less triggered. And I realized that I start to learn to appreciate every single little small win of my team members. Because when I didn't have that, I'm like, okay, yeah, you've been telling me this for the last 3 years and you're still telling me this. But I realized if I step back and I see from her perspective, it's a freaking big deal to them. And praises, positive reinforcement, constructive feedback, right? All this stuff, it helps your team to grow. Because I mean, seriously, it's like, when we had a parent who was always putting us down, shaming us, bashing us, nobody wants to do well, because it's like that's so much tension. So I think when I saw that and I intentionally be more of a cheerleader, like a person who celebrates and just want to be there with you and appreciate and acknowledge what you do, no matter how big, how small, the atmosphere, the energy is so different. And even for me, I feel better. I'm not just like charged up again or frustrated or having resentment. Like here I am, I'm like, whoa, I really see the flow and I'm so happy for them and I'm proud of them. I'm like this proud mother, I'm proud mama.
Yeah, it's so true, because it goes into that thing about those sayings and it's so true that great leaders are actually creating other leaders and empowering others. And I talk about it about being a bridge from you're stepping away from being operational to being more strategic, but a lot of people don't build that bridge. through communication, feedback, and we've done a lot of work, haven't we, over the last 3 months about building that bridge and what does that bridge look like, and your awareness of when you step back into that operation to show and encourage and support. So yeah, that's fab. So I'm a little bit selfish now. So I want you to tell me, if somebody's listening and going, what are you talking about this 3 months you spent with Stuart, the Business Owner Bootcamp, what would you tell people? Be kind. What would you tell people that the process is, and what's it brought to you?
So the Business Owner Bootcamp, okay, Bob, okay, it's honestly, I mean, no matter where you are in your journey, even it's like, oh, this whole thing is so new to me, or even if you've been like other leadership courses, or you've been reading a lot of books, right? You'll always get something out of it. Okay, 3 months, right? It's not a long time to invest in yourself. So for me, it's really great because obviously I'm in Singapore, he's in the UK. It works very well. You know, we have our Zoom calls, and I'll tell him not tell him the story, but I share whatever's happening. And I think from there, okay, Stuart doesn't tell me what to do. Okay, because that's not what it should be. It's like, okay, because I run my own business, my own team, I know them better, right? But it's just to pause and just go, okay, he's created a space. He created a space for me to go reflect back and pause and think, like, okay, why was this happening? What can I do different? How can I be different? So Stuart shares a lot of stories about that, okay, with a similar situation, not mine, but a similar situation that really got me to think and start to go, oh, I picked up golden nuggets of wisdom. And thing I like about that is that even though sometimes, yeah, like when I first met Stu, I was like, oh, military guy, you're going to be like a drill instructor, you yell at me, you know, or call me names and stuff, and like tell me to wake up and stuff. But he's really gentle, even for a dude, right? He's very gentle, very patient, very open. That's very, very open. And yeah, you feel safe with him. So maybe I speak for other women, you know, other women who are business owners. Sometimes you feel like, I'm not ready to have like a guy who's like, you know, you'd be surprised, right? He's a very patient, nurturing person, and you really feel safe in his space. Yeah.
So tell us about, thank you very much for that, by the way. Thank you very much. I really enjoy it. And this is what happens. Spending time with a client for 3 months, it really becomes a partnership, a team effort, and I become part of your inner circle, your thought processes. So thank you very much for that. So how are you going to keep moving forward? I know you're going to continue in our group of like-minded business owners, but how are you going to make sure that accountability, that reflection, that you keep using this as a tool to move forward for your team and yourself?
Well, the learning never stops, and I know this is not like once and for all because, you know, sometimes things change, right? For me, it's like, yeah, I'm still listening more podcasts or you know, tune in to like other people's, you know, Facebook lives and stuff. I'm reading what Stu was posting. I'm still in conversation with him, talking to other business owners who are also looking to grow themselves. And even for me, I've signed up for other courses and workshops, you know, whether it's like emotional or spiritual healing and stuff. I still do that. Yeah, I just keep soaking myself into it because I'd rather choose to do that and have that growth, and I grow as a person and I choose my thoughts carefully rather than sinking into, you know, like drama or like gossips and too much news, because you can get really sucked into it, right? And then for me, it's that I know I feel better and I learn new experiences. So I share with my team, whether maybe they might not understand it yet, but what I realized that because through all these different experiences, so when they share with me their learnings, I can resonate with them, I can relate to them, and I can share with them my experiences as well, you know, rather than tell them, oh yeah, I told you so, and blah, 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 and this is what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So it's always ongoing. And personally, I feel that even in my own business, I realized the team members or the leaders I have on my team, the ones that are actually doing well in their business, and I'm talking sales figures and commission and checks, everything, are the ones that actually invest in personal growth. And they want to choose to be doing that rather than just, okay, it is what it is. It's too hard. It's too uncomfortable. Because honestly, if you want any success or whatever abundance in your life or whatever that you want, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. Because if you're doing this right now, you're not getting the results that you want. It's not working. You know,
Yeah.
It's not working. You gotta do something different to get different results.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've got 30 seconds left. I know, doesn't time fly? So give me one golden nugget of kind of advice that you'd give somebody else.
Personal development is never expensive. In fact, personal development is the best investment you ever have. Okay? Yes. It's not on the exterior. It's not something that you can see, but I tell you, feed into every aspect of your inner self. And once you have that, everything will just transform. It will just transcend. Yeah.
Oh, my alarm's going off.
I know, that's why I shut up.
That was awesome. Thank you very much for that, Winnie. That was a great 20-second piece of advice there. So thank you very much, Winnie. I'm glad that our feed kept, because I know over in Singapore, I know we had Clint on as well. We had a couple of stumbles from Australia. But thank you so much for sharing your leadership story. And thank you for coming on today. So if you enjoyed that, make sure you comment, guys. Make sure you check out our visual on YouTube. You'll be able to see us both. And make sure you follow and subscribe to our podcast, which is on your podcast provider. And thank you again, Winnie. See you soon, and we will speak this week. And thank you for listening. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you.